exclusive insight into the world of Badger athletics, this is Wisconsin Huddle.
Wisconsin, Trench Kahuna.
Here's Andrew Banstra.
Welcome back into the Wisconsin Huddle here at Jay's Bar in Madison. I'm Andrew Banstra with WISC TV. Thrilled to be joined by Molly Schlosser, who just wrapped up her career with Wisconsin softball. Molly, we're going to get to know you as an athlete. We're going to get to know you as a human, and that's where we're going to get started with a game that we like to call Two Truths and a Lie. There's got to be a softball pun in there that we just didn't quite get to. Maybe we'll say 2 home runs and a foul ball. Does that work?
That works.
Cool.
Or
sounds
strikeout.
good.
Strikeout.
A strikeout
Yeah,
maybe
there.
makes a little bit more sense. And to do that, we'll do exactly this. Molly will pretend like all 3 of these things that I'm about to say are true. The trick is one of them isn't. The test for you watching at home and you and our live audience is to see if you can snuff out the lie. So we'll start out with one of these 3 truths. In your senior year, you became one of just 4 Badgers ever to score 50 runs in a season, right?
Yeah, I've been working on my speed. I was trying to, get to as many bases as I can. I was really running it, so yeah.
So you're from Wisconsin, but you didn't always want to go to Wisconsin, right? You wanted to go to Minnesota, and that didn't end up happening.
We shouldn't be saying that, but it may, that's the enemy, but yes, that is correct.
Okay, and the third truth would be that after her freshman year, she switched from being a left-handed thrower to a right-handed thrower. Is that right?
It actually came really natural. I thought it was going to be a lot harder than it was, but what can I say? I'm ambidextrous.
Fair enough. Well, those are our 3 truths. One of them, though, was a lie, if I did my research correctly. Now we're going to test you at home and you in the live audience. Which one of those was not true? Switch throwing hands? 3? Minnesota, at least as far as I know, is the lie, right?
No, that's not the lie. I did not switch to right.
Okay, so I should have checked that. Is the Minnesota thing true?
No, that is true.
Is it actually?
Yeah.
Oh, that was my lie.
No, it is true.
Okay, so there we go. I did some digging and I found something where it looked like at one point you threw with your left hand.
No, yeah. For media day,
Yeah.
I the only glove I had was for my right
Sure.
hand. So it was kind of a prank, and I guess I pranked.
Today is a day where everybody is probably trying to get through and digest all that food you ate yesterday. So to try to get people through that, what's your Thanksgiving tradition with your family that you enjoy doing?
My family is very competitive, right? We're a big sports family. So every Thanksgiving we do a pumpkin bowling. So
Okay, tell me more.
Yeah, so my uncle sets up a bunch of water bottles, and he makes a lane. He's pounding it in the ground the day before, setting it up for us. And all of us, there's 10 of us, so we each have our own, and we bowl with a pumpkin.
How did that even start? Do you know?
My uncle is very into the games. We do lots of Christmas games too. So he came up with this one, surprised us all one time, and we're rolling with it, literally.
It sounds like you guys are pretty competitive too. Have you ever won?
Of course.
Okay, fair enough.
There's a certificate and everything.
Wow, okay,
Yes.
that we need to see. And it sounds like we're already getting to know Molly a bit in terms of who she is as a person. When we come back, we'll do a little bit more of that before talking about her softball career. Next on the Wisconsin Huddle. Welcome back into Jay's Bar here in Madison. This is the Wisconsin Huddle, and we're thrilled to start a new segment that we like to call Student Athlete Stories, where we really get to know who our student athletes are as people, and it is presented by Gruber Law Offices. So Molly, with that being said, let's get to know who you are as a person. You're from not too far from Madison in Oconomowoc. Did you grow up dreaming of being a Badger, or was it more of a Gopher?
Of course it was being a Badger.
Okay, sure.
Of course.
Yeah.
Yes, growing up, I've always wanted to come to Wisconsin. Being a Badger, wearing the red and white, of course. No other options.
And to my understanding, this is not just about you. It's a little bit about kind of your family tree when it relates to Wisconsin, too. Mm-hmm. Your dad was almost going to be a Badger playing on the diamond, but until he wasn't. Can you kind of tell me what happened there?
Yeah, so my uncle actually did play on the team here, and then my dad was trying to follow in his footsteps
On the
and play
baseball
baseball.
team?
Yes,
Sure.
baseball. And he was trying to follow in his footsteps, play here, and then his senior year, right as he was about to start his freshman year, they cut the program, which at that point he was probably like freaking out. What's he gonna do? He was able to play at Southern Illinois, so he had a great baseball career there. And now, when I got the opportunity to play here, I really couldn't say no. I wanted to pave the Badger way for everybody else.
Absolutely. And how did that happen? The recruiting process. Did you have offers from other places? And how did you end up landing on Wisconsin? And I guess why Wisconsin? Outside of the obvious.
Yeah. Right. So with softball, you go to a lot of camps, and they're called on deck camps when they're prospecting, and you go to a bunch of college camps. And so I guess my journey, I kind of went to one of the Badger camps, and that's when my coach wanted to take me on a visit here. And lucky enough, the day before COVID shut everything down, the entire world, everything, was the day of my visit.
Wow.
And yes, and so that was kind of like my way of being like, you know what, maybe this is meant to be. I think this is where I'm supposed to be.
And things came out of, that experience for you in the sense that you were able to commit to Wisconsin. But before that, your junior year of softball in high school was taken away because of it. Almost kind of similar to your dad in the sense that something you loved was maybe taken away from you. What was that like, and what was navigating that experience like as a student?
Yeah, navigate, at that point in my life, junior year is really the year where you try to get recruited and play somewhere and kind of go to college. And so at that point, it was a little bit stressful, I'm not gonna lie, but just trusting the path that's made for you and how it's all gonna work out eventually. That's kind of just what my mindset was.
And how did your dad react to that when he found out you were gonna go on to Wisconsin and kind of live out make things full circle in a lot of ways?
So my coach, Coach Healy, she actually offered me at the top of Bascom Hill with my family.
Wow.
So my dad was there. He got to experience it too. So he felt like he was part of it again.
Absolutely. And what was that relationship like with you and your dad, or maybe Coach Healy would be the better way to say it? What was that relationship like over these last 4 years, and how magical was that run?
Yeah, Coach Healy's a very caring coach. He always cares about you as a person, and I think that's what separates her a lot and helps our team stay so close, because we know we can count on her when it's outside of softball as well.
So we've talked about your coaches, we've talked about your family, we've talked a little bit about your teammates, all kinds of people involved in your life. But let's say, I don't know, you're on a game show, not necessarily a show like this, and you needed to phone a friend in the spirit of one call, that's all. Who would you phone a friend to if you needed to?
My dad, for
Your
sure.
dad?
Yeah,
Why?
for sure. Well, he's actually pretty good buddies with Gruber, so
Oh, okay.
I feel like I could be in good hands.
This Student Athlete Stories segment is presented by Gruber Lofts. It's one call, that's all. We'll be right back to the Wisconsin Huddle. Welcome back inside Jay's Bar here in Madison. I'm Andrew Vanstra, joined by Molly Schlosser, who just wrapped up her career with Wisconsin softball. And let's talk about just that. What a way to go out in your senior year. An incredible year for the Badgers, 33-21 on the season, headlined by, you guessed it, Molly Schlosser, who had a great season. But first, let's talk about what that year was like. A magical run for the Badgers that just things kept seeming to get better and better.
Going into senior season, you're going into it knowing it's your last one, right? So our whole team had the same mindset of, we're going to enjoy it, we're going to have fun, we're going to give it our all, and we're going to play for each other. And that's what we did, and it worked out pretty well.
We mentioned the fact that you became one of 4 Badgers to score 50 runs in a season, but that's just kind of a little bit of the amount of stats you could talk about when it comes to Molly. She led the team in stolen bases. She had a career best 359 batting average, in addition to doing the same when it comes to on-base and slugging percentage. I would imagine going into your senior year, you want to leave it all out there, but with baseball or softball, the more you think, I would imagine you just kind of let the dice go where they may and rely on your training. How did you maybe navigate that as a senior?
Yeah, I think it comes with just all the practice you put in and all the effort you put in, knowing it's your last year. You really got to leave it out on the table every single game. You never know when it could be your last, and that's kind of the mindset I brought to it. I said, every game I'm going to play like it's my last, and if one at-bat didn't go well, you know, I wouldn't let it affect me in the field or my next at-bat, because ultimately you go down a rabbit hole if you start doing that.
Absolutely. The sport of softball in general is growing like wildfire, not just at the collegiate level, but also at the professional level. Athletes Unlimited is a new professional softball league, and just how cool is it to see the sport continue to grow in ways that it just hadn't before?
It is really cool. You know, growing up, I never saw softball live really on TV ever, and now I think it's so cool. You can walk into a restaurant to have food and it'll be playing on the TV. It is really inspiring, and I'm happy for this community of young girls growing up to see this on the TV and hopefully one day want to play.
And it's incredible, and you see it even, you know, at the collegiate summer league level in the Northwoods League, which we all know around Wisconsin. There's some softball teams that have started, one in Madison, another in lacrosse, and that league continues to grow. It's just an incredible way to continue the growth of the game. And speaking of growth of the game, how about this? A brand new professional women's baseball league that is starting nationally. I mean, that's a really, really cool deal that continues to find ways to get women onto the field and to put them in a national spotlight.
I know, I'll have to check into that and look at that. I feel like that would be pretty awesome to watch.
It really would be, and the extra cool part about it is that if you were to watch, one of our very own from Wisconsin, in fact, right here in Madison, was selected 16th overall by the Boston franchise, Luciana Moreno, who also played for the Madison Nightmares. She's a freshman at Pitt, and we talked to her about what that experience was like getting selected in that women's professional baseball draft.
Incredibly excited. I'm excited to start training again baseball, because I gotta kind of organize it too, especially with all this ball I'll be playing over the summer. Yeah, it's just excited to get going and kind of see what it's all gonna be about.
So we've talked a whole lot about Molly and a whole lot about softball, but when we come back, we'll talk some stuff happening right here on campus when it comes to the Badgers, next on the Wisconsin Huddle. Welcome back inside Jay's Bar here in Madison. This is the Wisconsin Huddle. Andrew Banstra joined by Molly Schlosser. And Molly, we're going to start with our Menards Play of the Month, where every month we're going to show you a prep athlete doing something absolutely fantastic. And for that, we're going to go to the state championship games in football, where Zeke Zuberbuehler, who doesn't just have one of the best names of all time, made one of the best plays to watch this 90-yard touchdown run as his Darlington Redbirds marched their way to a Division VI state championship. And that was a busy week last week at Camp Randall. You had 7 high school championship games, and then there was Saturday when Wisconsin football, I don't know if I'd say shocked the world, but it was certainly a fun night. Were you there for the field story and everything?
Of course I was there. It was the last game here at Camp Randall. You can't miss it, and it was a heck of a way to go out.
You know, you definitely know how the game's going just looking at the crowd, right? I mean, in games past this season, you could look up at the student section and see a lot of empty seats. Not the case on Saturday.
No.
They were winning, and that's going to keep people in their seats. It was so much fun to watch. I caught up with some of the players after the game. Here's what they had to say.
It's you can't even explain it, honestly. It's something, like I said, I'll never forget. I know these guys won as well, and you know, it's just really a good way to finish my career here in my last game in Camp Randall.
To be able to get these last 2 wins versus 2 top 25 teams in Washington and Illinois, it was a definitely bittersweet way to end my career off at Camp Randall, and I'm super, super happy for this team.
These are things I prayed for when I was 5 years old, looking up to my brother playing football, looking up to older guys, you know, just being in that position. And for me to be in it now, is just a blessing.
I want nothing more than to bring the Ags back here for my final game. Obviously, this game was fun. It was a great time, worshiping and all that, but you know, that means way more to me than this game does.
And in this week's Badger Banter, in the spirit of Thanksgiving, we got to talk a little bit about food. Of course, how could we not do that? So my question to you this week would be, if you had to make a cheat meal or eat a cheat meal, like one thing, the calories don't count, what is your go-to favorite meal like that?
Oh boy. Well, if it's Thanksgiving themed, 1000% some good homemade mac and cheese.
Okay.
For sure. And I'm a sweets girl, so I love a good like apple pie or apple crumble with some like ice cream on it. I would probably have like half the pie, if I'm going to be honest.
That's the way to go,
Yeah.
honestly. You really can't go wrong with that. We talked to some of the Wisconsin football players in the spirit of this big week. You know, they play Minnesota for the Axe on Saturday. So here's what they had to say when it came to their favorite cheat meal.
It's really basic, but there's a little kind of kick to it. It's basically it's just like a cookies and cream milkshake with cherries. Now, I know the cherry's kind of an outlier, but I'm telling you, I mean, I even had my girlfriend try it the other day and she loved it, so.
It's Chipotle every time. I'm probably in the top 1% of Chipotle eater. Like Chipotle is a couple times a week for me. I like to switch it up because I get it honestly so much. I'll get a burrito one time, I'll get a bowl. I'm actually a big fan of, I think you get more food in a bowl, so I'll get a side tortilla with the bowl and then I'll make a smaller burrito and then still have extra food. So I'm just always mixing it up. Steak, chicken, I'll get something different every time.
I'm a sucker for a milkshake or a cookie skillet. Oreo milkshake personally, but cookie skillet with ice cream, the State House, best cookie skillet ever. You get the cookie skillet with an extra scoop of ice cream. It's unreal, honestly.
And the Thanksgiving fun is just getting started here on the Wisconsin Huddle. When we come back, we'll play Badger Would You Rather Thanksgiving edition next on the Wisconsin Huddle. Welcome back into the Wisconsin Huddle here at Jay's Bar in Madison. I'm Andrew Banstra alongside Molly Schlosser. And as everybody continues to digest all the food that they ate yesterday on Thanksgiving, we'll play a game we'd like to call Badger Would You Rather. So I'm going to give you a couple of Thanksgiving-themed options, and you got to tell me which one you would pick.
All
so
right.
We'll start with the easy one, turkey or ham?
I'm a ham.
Ham?
I'm a ham girl, yeah.
Fair enough.
But we always have turkey on Thanksgiving.
But you don't go for it.
I eat it still, but I would rather have ham.
Now, I think this is a good time for me to make a confession. And I know it's a hot take, and I've been pretty open about this throughout my life. I don't like Thanksgiving food, like just in general.
Like no
Cue the
Thanksgiving,
booze.
nothing?
I mean, like turkey's okay. It's just kind of like bland.
Mac and cheese?
Maybe I'm
apple pie?
I don't know. It's just not. It's not for me. Maybe I'm eating at the wrong like family Thanksgiving.
Maybe.
That is possible. So maybe I go somewhere else sometime and it's awesome. But that's my hot take. Let's see if you have a hot take here. Would you rather on Thanksgiving Day watch football or take a nap? Because naps really hit on Thanksgiving. They just do.
They do. It depends on what time the game's at, for sure. But I will say, when I was younger, definitely take a nap.
Sure.
But now I would watch football.
There
for sure.
is something spiritual about, certainly watching football on Thanksgiving, but also being super full and just taking a nap on Thanksgiving Day. For me, I don't know if I'd be that full because, again, Thanksgiving food, not really my thing. You said you like desserts and sweets a lot. You said you like apple pie, right?
Mm-hmm.
How about that or pumpkin pie? If you had not pumpkin pie.
No.
See, you're getting behind the whole.
Yeah. No. Apple pie.
Apple pie for sure. Ice cream with it.
Of course.
Okay.
Yeah,
that
for
you
sure.
can't go against. My last Thanksgiving themed question would be: would you rather sit at the kids' table or the adults' table at Thanksgiving?
I still sit at the kids' table.
It's the way to go. It's the way to go. You really can't go wrong with it. You have more fun at the
There's
kids'
more
table.
fun. You play games. You don't have to talk adult stuff. It's way more fun.
What's your favorite way on any team that you've ever been a part of to break a huddle?
Well, for the past 4 years, I mean, it's always Badger. So just hands in and go Badgers on 3.
Okay, you count us down.
All right, Badgers on 3. 1, 2, 3.
Badgers! Thanks so much. We'll see you next week on the Wisconsin Huddle.
Let me first man.